Jordan Belfort. Say that name to most people, and they'll picture Leonardo DiCaprio snorting cocaine off a supermodel in a Long Island mansion. They'll picture the yacht, the Ferraris, the Quaaludes, the carnage, and they'll miss the point entirely. Because the story of Jordan Belfort is not really about money. It was never about money. Money was just the drug he could buy other drugs with. The excess wasn't the destination, it was a symptom. I want to take you inside the actual mind of this man. The psychological architecture underneath the charm, the fraud, and the performance. Because why his brain worked the way it did is not just fascinating, it is a warning. Start with the boy, not the man. Jordan Belfort was born in Queens, New York in 1962 into a middle-class family. His parents were accountants. Nothing about his early life should have produced what came later. Psychologists find that the most volatile version of these traits doesn't emerge from poverty. It emerges from proximity to aspiration without the means to reach it. From being just far enough away that it burned. He was already thinking like a businessman at 16, making $20,000 one summer selling Italian ice on the beach. Not pocket money. Most kids that age don't even know what $20,000 looks like. That isn't ambition in the conventional sense. That is a compulsive relationship with achievement, dressed up as entrepreneurship. Compulsive people are chased by an internal void that no achievement can permanently fill. He enrolled to become a dentist, but dropped out after one day. Dentistry required patience, precision, and delayed gratification. His brain couldn't tolerate that. It required acceleration. It required the next thing being bigger than the last. What Belfort was developing was a personality structure researchers associate with the dark triad: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. A grandiose self-image and a persistent disregard for harm. Before the destruction, we have to understand the gift. His straight-line system was built on a single insight. Every sale is determined by the certainty the prospect feels in the product, the company, and the person. He believed the first 4 seconds of any interaction decide the outcome. Neuroscience confirms this. The limbic system fires before the prefrontal cortex has time to form an opinion. Emotional verdicts come first. He trained young men with no background to manufacture certainty so completely that seasoned investors would hand over their savings within 4 minutes. He built an entire industrial operation around this neurological fact. The drugs, the money, the risk, these were expressions of reward circuit dysregulation. Achievement produces dopamine, but in Belfort's brain, the system required escalating stimulation just to feel normal. At his peak, he was taking 20 Quaaludes a day. He was drawn to the euphoria without consequence, the high without the low. The belief that the rules of cause and effect simply didn't apply to him. Stratton Oakmont was constructed on relationships that made consequence harder to enforce. Loyalty built from shared identity is different from loyalty built from salary. Leaving meant losing who you were. The yacht, the helicopter, the parties. They weren't just for control. Visible wealth was a sales tool. He understood that humans are tribal creatures who attach to whoever appears to be winning most loudly. What the movie didn't show you, because it was filtered through Belfort's perspective, was the reality of living with a man like him. Dr. Nadine Macaluso describes a man who weaponized connection. She describes the relationship beginning with love bombing, an overwhelming cascade of attention designed to keep you off balance. It is a control tactic to create dependency before the mask slips. Belfort used this same mechanism on everyone: his brokers, his investors, his wife. Make the connection feel so real that the rational mind stops looking for the exit. It was systematic psychological torture. Jordan Belfort's story is a warning about what happens when the high achiever's drive meets a void that can never be filled. It is a clinical case study in extraction without a price.